this match.
Yeah, worst possible result there for Judd, going in off.
So, Ben, I think it's fair to say that we're going to see plenty of attacking snooker over the next couple of days with the 7 players involved.
Yeah, Tom and Judd, very attacking players. And I think the Championship League players are a bit more relaxed because no ranking points. So they do seem to play more free-flowing.
Plenty of meetings between these two. Trump leads 12-4 in head-to-heads in tournaments outside of the Championship League. When it comes to this particular event, they've played 3 times. Trump has prevailed twice. Now that's a shot that Ford's fellow man of Leicester, Mark Selby, plays brilliantly. That occasion though, Ford just caught the Reds a little too thick, and the first really good chance falls to the runaway world number 1. Trump over 640,000 points ahead of anyone else in the rankings. Nice cushion to have, Ben.
Yeah, he's been the most dominant player in snooker for the last 5-6 years. There's no doubt about that. What he's doing in this era of snooker is quite incredible, I think.
$15. $16.
Well, not appropriate to criticise that, but not quite on the correct side of the blue.
$21. Judd Trump 21.
Good safety there from Tom. I think the yellow's blocked the left-hand side of the reds and the blues covering the right-hand side. So I think Judd's going to play the 2 cushions to clip the reds back into bulk. He's done the same as Tom did. He caught them too thick, but first, not sure if he's got away with it or not. By Tom's reaction, I think he has.
Well, not only a very accurate shot, a very sensible one also. Blocking the path to the red with the blue should he miss it. But he got nothing but net. But been as good as the first shot was, the second not up to muster.
Yeah, Tom will be disappointed. He only made eight from there, especially after that first red.
This is only best of 5 frames, but they have played some lengthy multiple session matches actually. He's certainly done the majority of the heavy scoring when these two have played, but you can't score from there.
Yeah, he had to be really delicate there. It was difficult to get that safe, and he hasn't. So another good chance for Tom in this first frame.
One.
Of course, Ben, he's playing at the Mattioli Arena for the first time since he won the snooker shootout. Finally won a world ranking title. In very dramatic circumstances, actually. He beat Wu Yize in the semi-finals in a blue ball shootout, and then edged Liam Graham in the final by just 3 points. He actually played down his achievement there, I thought, Ford, saying that it isn't really a ranking event. But the fact is, it is a ranking event. You can't take it away from him, and he's done well to win it.
Yeah, you still got to hold yourself together and pot the balls, but I know, you know, as Tom, I know what he means, because he won't class it as a full final.
16.
You know, he says that you should go to bed before the final for it to count as a ranking event. But yeah, considering Tom had been struggling this season, I think it'll give him a big boost for the rest of the year.
$23.
He's always been in the top few players in my mind, and most of the players that have not won a ranking event.
24.
He's definitely one of the best. You know, he's been a great player for years, really heavy scorer, made quite a lot of 147s as well. So yeah, he deserved it really.
Yeah, I sort of put him in the same category as David Gilbert, who hadn't won a ranking title before he won the ranking version of this event.
32.
No doubt about it, he's got the credentials and the ability, and now he's got one on the CV. World number 19 at the moment, Tom Ford.
$39. $40.
Well, so far this is the blueprint for success in professional snooker. Play a troublesome snooker, force an opportunity, make the most of it. Now, this is a very specific shot, but that one he's just played there with running side
47.
off the black. I think he plays that really well.
Yeah, a lot of players worry about playing that shot, but Tom, I know it doesn't affect him at all. He just sees it as a very straightforward shot, but it is one of the trickiest shots you can play, break building shots. But Tom, yeah, does seem one of the best players at this shot.
$55. Tom Ford, 55.
So close to winning the frame there. He was just looking at potting that red, getting the right angle on the pink to probably develop the three reds, but now he's left Judd possible counter chance in this frame.
One.
And so often in this Championship League, we've seen a case where the first frame of the day really affects how the rest of the day goes for a particular player, good or bad.
8.
Yeah, it can be. The first match is always quite important in this tournament, because you just don't want to get on a bad run, and if you do lose your first or second match, it can get out of hand, and all of a sudden you can be looking at relegation.
Nine.
Deserved a little more than that, with the cue ball and the
16.
black so close together. That was quite a ticklish shot.
Foul.
And he certainly deserved more than that. He might have left a free ball here.
16 Judd Trump, 4 Tom Ford.
Yeah, worst possible result there for Judd, going in off. And if it is a free ball, you'd expect that to be the end of the frame, really.
If Ford pots free ball and then either blue, pink or black,
Blue ball.
Trump will need a snooker.
One.
Not the best of shots on the black.
8.
You'd like to see the back of this red to avoid any messing around.
9. $15. Top Ford 15 and the frame.
As we suspected, the first frame, quite a quick affair, and it's Tom Ford who wins it, where Tom Ford is taking a 1-0 lead over Judd Trump. As for table 2, well, Neil
frame,
Robertson
Tom
and
Ford to break.
Matthew Selt still involved in their first frame. Robertson leads by 18, nothing decisive at all.
Yeah, it's definitely a good position to be in, knowing that you don't need to play in events because you're already in all the Players Series events because he's that far in front.
Foul.
He missed 3 different reds, all by small margins.
Judd Trump.
But I'm sure that cue ball's going to go back.
Yeah. Yeah, more to the right. For me, please, Tom. Okay. Check out. Yeah, thank you.
So that's the second miss. I'm pretty
Miss
sure you won't be
for
playing the same shot again
Judd Trump.
if Judd does put him back.
Put it back.
Maybe Tom will go for a difficult long red here.
The check out for me, please, Tom. Because he sent the ball of that to red.
It's just a bit further back.
A bit further back.
Trump seemed in very good spirits.
Right,
I suppose if you got over £1 million up by mid-January, you would be.
One.
As we walked into the commentary box, Ben,
3.
Judd and his brother Jack were out there on the practice table. So he's not taking this lightly at all. Comes in, yes, with a relaxed attitude. Of course, that's the case.
4.
But he would love to get another title under his belt and regain Championship League supremacy.
Yeah, I've heard Judd say a few times that he treats every tournament the same, which I do believe him. He wants to win every single tournament he plays in. It's only, the public and the media that consider obviously tournaments bigger, which, some of them are, but he just wants to win every match in every tournament he's in.
Thank you.
Won the Championship League in 2014, and indeed 5 years before that.
11.
The second staging of the event actually beat Mark Selby in the final 3-2. And that 2009 triumph was a big deal for him.
12.
It predated his first ranking title by a couple of years.
I think last week Dave Hendon was telling me that as well that Judd thinks won the most prize money ever in the Championship League as well, if I'm not mistaken. Which, you know, he's won more prize money than anyone this season, but he's the most successful in the Championship League on prize money.
Yeah, I think he'd like to be his bank manager.
19.
And as you say, good on him, because his attitude is spot on. Much like all of the greats of the game.
$27. $28.
Another category he leads. Most centuries compiled
35.
this season. 49. So is he going to make it 50 at this visit? The odds are stacked against him because these balls are not ideal. But sometimes when it comes to building breaks, he can work wonders.
$41. $42.
He made one of the best ever clearances I've seen, actually, to win a match against Stephen Maguire in the Players' Championship a few years back. And of course, to win the jackpot in Saudi Arabia, he was 62-0 down in the deciding frame against Mark Williams and cleared up with 72 to win on the black. Considering what was at stake, Ben, I think that's one of the most extraordinary achievements in the game.
Yeah, that one
49.
break was for £300,000. So, yeah, with the clearances, you got to look, you know, how important they were as well, not just where the balls were, but, you know, in the situation, it was an incredible clearance.
Neil Robertson is just about to ink the first frame against Matthew Selt. Ford given a reprieve here by a poor positional shot from Trump. Speculated on that
Judd Trump,
unlikely plant, knowing he was taking the cue ball up into baulk.
$1.
Now, I've noticed this with Tom Ford over the years. When he gets a fluke, he seems almost embarrassed about it. I don't think he's guilty, and he shouldn't be, but he does seem embarrassed when he gets flukes, because he knows how he feels when someone gets a fluke against him.
Yeah, Tom would be the first to admit he doesn't take flukes against him that well.
6.
Yeah, he's probably guilty for a few seconds maybe, but then I'm sure he takes full advantage, like he's hoping he will do in this break.
We were just there talking about clearances, Ben, and Ford was the victim of the finest clearance I've ever
13.
seen. And that might seem embellishment, exaggeration.
I know which break you're talking about. Yeah.
The Mark Williams clearance in the
14.
first round of the Tour Championship in Manchester back in the spring. Williams, of course, went on to capture the title. I still can't believe when I see replays of it that he actually did it.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous because I don't think Mark Williams played that great in that match. It was a bit,
21.
both of them struggled a bit. But yeah, how he found that clearance, I'll never know.
Ford did miss a ball he should have potted, but even so, he must have left Manchester cursing his luck, because the chances of Williams clearing up from where he did, well, to say it was 1 in 1,000, I think that would be underdoing it.
Yeah, sometimes as a player, when you miss, you know, you think, well, that could cost me the frame. But when you did miss that ball,
29.
Tom, he would never, ever have thought Mark could clear up. He would have thought he's coming back to the table. But obviously, the further the break went on by Mark, he would have started
30.
fearing the worst the longer it went on. And yeah, he was unlucky that Mark cleared up there.
Yeah, Williams was jet-lagged. He had lost a big lead. Everything, it seemed, was against him. And yet, miraculously, he won the match. And then, after a good night's sleep, he was a different animal and played beautifully in the rest of the tournament.
38.
I think he's landed quite nicely on this brown in the middle pocket. Tom's developing in these reds and looking more and more likely that it could be a chance to win the frame. I've put the curse on Tom there, sorry.
Tom Ford, 38. One.
So Trump needs brown, red colour.
Five. Six.
And for the man whose prize money this season is well into 7 figures, it's another 100 quid in the skyrocket.
Yeah, I think Judd will be relieved, even though it's only second frame of the day. You don't want to go too long without winning a frame, so yeah, he'll be happy to go 1-1 in this match.
16. $20. $20 on the frame.
Indeed, Trump does equalise in this race to 3. It is
Judd Trump.
1-1. There's been an awful lot of snooker played so far this season, so I think it might be useful to just remind ourselves of what Trump has done. Won the Shanghai Masters, got to the final of the Xi'an Grand Prix, won the Saudi Arabia Masters in thrilling circumstances. Great shot from Ford there.
One.
Semi-finalist in the Wuhan Open. Runner-up in the Northern Ireland Open. Winner of the UK Championship. Semi-finalist at the Masters. So Trump should be oozing confidence.
4.
But sometimes this Championship League, the format can be a little unforgiving, and if you catch an opponent on form, a match can be over in no time.
Tom Ford.
Just been looking at Tom and Judd's reaction, because I think this table just got re-clothed, so it's a brand new cloth. I think they're struggling a bit with the speed of the table and the cushions. So you see them both have a little joke with themselves. But when the table's new, it does take a couple of frames for the cushions to start bouncing the normal speed like players would expect. They're just a little bit slow normally for the first couple of frames.
Yeah, I remember an ITV event a few years ago. The first match was Neil Robertson against Peter Ebdon, and the table was very poor, and you think, oh, could be problems here. By that evening, it was fine, and the rest of the week it played beautifully. So you're right, there is that bedding in process.
Yeah, it's not always, but just most of the time, it's just off the cushions. They are a bit softer and slower. So, you just got to hit the ball a bit harder, but then normally after, as I said, a few frames or a few hours, it gets back to how they expect it to be.
That was a swerve. The side he put on helped the red go in, but it didn't help the cue ball.
Tom Ford, 1.
Had to be delicate there, and he was. Always in the back of your mind, Ben, there's the fear of not reaching the brown and placing yourself in a snooker.
Yeah. Tom, just knew he just wanted to block off the left-hand side of the table, otherwise it would have been an easy escape for Judd just to roll into the pack. So now Judd's going to try and come off 2 cushions now with his right hand. He's judged it, it looks perfectly.
Just playing right-handed and bridge over a brown.
Trump isn't as good right-handed as O'Sullivan is left-handed, but he's pretty useful.
Touching ball.
Yeah, I think obviously Ronnie was the first one really to start playing with the opposite hand, and definitely the standards got better in tournaments. I've seen Luca play quite a few great shots with his opposite hand in the Masters. There's a few players that have good with their opposite hand, but Ronnie's definitely the best.
In Group 6 later this week, Jack Lazowski will make his entrance. Now, sometimes when he plays right-handed, you feel as though you want to put your hands across your face because you're very concerned he's going to miss. But he's convinced he's better right-handed than when he's stretching over with the rest, so up to him. What a great talent, though, Lazowski. Hope he plays well this week because he's a joy to behold.
Yeah, he's great to watch, Jack. I always think most players look better left-handed. No idea why, but it just seems better to watch than they look more natural.
I can tell you on table 2, Neil Robertson has got a very good chance to score heavily and take a 2-0 lead over Matthew Selt. Right in amongst them.
Extended rest, yes.
Cheers.
Wants this to run past the middle pocket.
Good to see from Trump, treating the game, his opponent, the tournament, with every respect. So we're just past the halfway point of this tournament. 4 groups in the books. We've got 3 regulation groups to come this week. And then the week after next, the winners group.
One.
All to play for. And the winner, the overall winner, is guaranteed a spot in the Champion of Champions next season. Interesting how that's working out, Ben. We've had 6 qualifying events so far and 6 different winners.
Yeah, it just shows how competitive it is.
Few oohs and ahs from Tom Ford as he tried to reach that one. Of course, at the last Championship League, the ranking version back in the summer, he played 1 match and pulled out, lost to Barry Pinches, said he got an injured foot, and that put the group in turmoil. In the end,
5.
the beneficiary was Robbie McGuigan. The 3 remaining players all won 1 match, but he had a better frame difference, did McGuigan.
Yeah, I guess that's strange to get through a group winning 1 match in a group stage, but obviously, as you said, there was only 3 of them in the groups. So, yeah, unusual circumstances.
Of course, I felt sorry for Barry Pinches, who'd beaten Tom in a shock, let's face it. And that result was annulled. Again, Trump prepared to be patient. So it seemed as though Trump was in charge of the frame. Then Ford put him in an awkward position. And this is the fruit.
One.
Ford knows what it takes to beat Trump. We talked about that final qualifying round of the
6.
World Championship in 2010. Much more recently, in a period when Trump was established as one of the game's very best, Ford beat him 4-3 in the last 16 of the World Grand Prix in 2021.
Seven.
Perceptive, Ben, you were about those cushions. They are a little soft still.
You can just see from Tom's reaction a few times that he looks really surprised that it's not coming off quicker. Don't think Tom's on a red here.
Little unlucky that, because it wasn't a bad split. Can tell you on table 2, Neil Robertson currently enjoying his second bite of the scoring cherry. He's going to take a 2-0 lead over Matthew Selt. Next up on table 2, by the way,
58.
someone who's chasing a professional snooker world record over the next couple of days or this week. Jack Jones up against Joe O'Connor. Jones in the first 4 groups is 23 centuries. Matthew Selt and Karen Wilson both in this tournament. So Jones needs 4 more to become a world record holder. I don't know whether he knows that.
1.
I think he does. Speaking to him in the last group, he says, "Oh, I'm already on 16 centuries." So yeah, I think he does know about it. So maybe the closer he gets, he might start thinking about it. But yeah, he's definitely got a good chance of breaking it.
Well, when Karen Wilson did it initially,
8.
I thought no one would get near. Then, of course, Selt equalled it, and now, well, let's just say that Jones plays as well as he did
9.
in the first phase of the tournament, and he stays in a couple of groups this week. I think it's a certainty that the record's going to go.
Yeah, I'd think if he stays at least to group 6, I think he'll break the record, yeah, because he needs 4 more. I think he could still do it just in this group, but if he can play 2 more groups, I think that would be enough for him to break the record.
14. 15.
'The little pack of 3 reds just below the pink spot will be the key to this frame.
21. 22.
Just hit the left of these three reds.
As well played as it was, well predicted. And now the frame's very much at Trump's mercy.
30.
Now that was all about adapting.
37.
Hit that one a little more crisply than he normally would.
38.
Yeah, he would be thinking, I just need to hit this just slightly harder than I normally would, because it's going to come off a little bit slower off the black cushion, and he played it to perfection. See, Judd there looked a little surprised that he didn't come higher on this
55.
red, but it still shouldn't be a problem.
46. $52. 53.
I think is not only frame ball, it's also for the highest break of the match so far. Superseding a 55 from Ford in the
59.
opening frame.
$61. Judd Trump, 61.
2 snookers needed by Tom Ford, and there's no concession.
Frame conceded.
There is now.
Judd Trump.
So, Judd Trump, after falling 1-0 behind, finds himself 2-1 in front. A little slower going. Neil Robertson 2-0 up on Matthew Selt. What a beautifully controlled shot that was from Judd Trump. Right into the heart of the pocket now. If he could make a big break here, apart from the fact it would wrap up a very useful victory, it would also be useful in the sense that he plays next against Stuart Bingham. So he would have lots of table time and become accustomed
6.
to conditions.
Sam. $14. $15. 22. $23.
Well, it was nicely played. Let's hope he's on the pink. Deserves to be, but there's clearly some doubt.
He just played it with a touch of right hand side, but I don't think too much, but it was obviously very tight.
$29, thank you. $30.
I think he'll be possibly topping through these reds. No, he's going low, so probably back up for the blue. He's gone through him.
38.
Nice kiss on the blue there.
Yes, and also on the red that hit the green.
$43. $44.
Really thumped that, did Trump, and he's still not where he quite wanted to be. The cushions will speed up, there's no doubt about that, but right now they're quite stodgy.
$49.
Nice recovery there from Judd. Wasn't easy, hampered over that red, a thin cut. But now he's back in good position.
Now, Ben, that's one of your great strong points, recovery pots. It can really hurt opponents because they might expect to get back to the table. Trump knocked that one in. Ford must have thought it's all over, but Trump's positional shot off the blue wasn't judged as well as he would have liked. Again, foxed by the slowness of the cushions.
Yeah, I get a little bit of stick for my cue ball, but doesn't bother me. But I sort of play a bit on it. Yeah, you just got to. Some people are more affected when they're out of position. You just got to play the next shot, you know, where you land. So give it the best.
56.
And Judd's recovered again though with a nice double.
Yeah, that's his second double of this match, where the red he's knocked in has been quite some way from the cushion. So that's a really tough one to judge, and he's done it brilliantly. So now he's just a couple of pots away from victory.
63.
He played the double in a clever way, because if he missed it, he was only really leaving the red that he was going for on the double. So it was sort of a slight shot to nothing 64. As well. So it was cleverly played.
72.
Now the frame is well secured. Trump looking for what would be his 50th century of the season. Just as I say that, I think hopes have been extinguished.
79. Judd Trump 79 and frame.
Only 79, but it is a victory for Judd Trump. Both players clearly not happy with the way the table is playing, in particular the cushions. But I think that will improve as this group goes on. And if Trump improves as the group goes on, he will be mightily difficult to beat. Next up, he remains out there on table one against another former world champion, Stuart Bingham. That's coming your way in around